Hi there, welcome back. This is Manu, your English coach. In this series of videos, we're going to look at the theme, our neighborhood, to learn everything about comparatives. In this video, we're going to look at some rules and look at the other matters in the subsequent videos. Why do we need to learn comparatives? Well, for one thing, we compare every time, almost every day, at every place. You compare things at home, things, people, like this restaurant was better than the earlier restaurant, wasn't it? Yeah, that's a comparison. A lot of comparisons take place at home, in your social circle, at work. Yes, you do. You compare ideas, strategies, policies, performances, people, places, clients. You compare everything. So it's very common. Second reason is you compare two things. Let's take the workplace, for instance. You compare two things and you say, okay, your preference is this one, but you're not able to tell that to the person who's going to make the decision. You're lost. You have a brilliant idea, but you can't state your comparison properly, so your conclusion is going to be rejected because the listener doesn't understand your logic. And this will help you place your position logically, give your opinion logically. For that, you need to have a strong language. So let's look at this without delay. What is comparative? How do you compare? We just saw a few examples here. Let's repeat one of them. This restaurant is better than the previous one. Now, what's the main thing over here? The three parts of the statement. This restaurant is better than. Is the be verb. Better is the adjective plus er, and you also use than. So that's the basic structure. You may not always use than, but then those are the different, let's call them advanced structure. We'll look at them soon. One big mistake that people commit is to say more and an adjective plus er, like more, bigger. Because people get so excited, his house is more bigger than this house. No, not more, bigger. More is a comparative in itself. Bigger is also a comparative. So you can't say more and bigger together. That will be a double comparative, which is discouraged in English. As is the case with any language, repetition is always discouraged. So try to avoid this mistake. Now, when do you add more, by the way? You add more when the adjective has two or more syllables. So then you add, for instance, important. Important. 3 syllables. You can't say importanter. It's more important. Beautiful. More beautiful. Invigorating. More invigorating. Intelligent. More intelligent. More than 2 syllables. But, like in any English rule, you have exceptions also. 2 syllables. Stupid. You don't say more stupid, you say stupider. Why? I don't know. It's just an exception, that's all. We'll take it as it is. Simple. 2 syllables. Simpler. Not more simple. Handsome. Handsomer. I've heard people say handsome, more handsome as well. Not very common. Ugly. Uglier. Ugly. Uglier. But these are some of the exceptions, not a lot of them though. Now, then there are the other kind of exceptions that are called irregular adjectives. Why are they irregular? Because they don't follow this rule. So, something is good, you don't say gooder, you say better. Well, weller, better. Bad, not badder, it's worse. Far, not farer, farther. That's got a bit of a linguistics involved in that. We'll not look into that. Little, less. Right. So these are some of the exceptions. But what's the difference between good and well? Good and well. Simple. Good is for nouns, well is for verbs. So I'd say this computer is good. Computer, good. It performs well. Perform is a verb. It's action. Performs well. She's a good player. She plays well. Farther and further. Far is farther, comparative. Comparative is also further, but there is a difference between these two. Huge difference, actually. Come to think of it. Farther is the physical distance. So my house is farther from the stadium than your house. In other words, you are closer to the stadium than I am. So it's a distance. Further is anything but the physical distance. Like you can say, further investigations revealed a sinister plot. Further examinations showed that the person was not suffering from COVID. So it's not physical. This is only physical. So they are very different. Some people might say that you can use one for the other, but I prefer that we did, especially as learners, differentiate them. We'll be on the safer side. Right. Now let's look at the last bit of rules over here regarding spellings. There are 4 rules. General rule is ER. So you have a word, you add ER to it, that becomes a comparative. Adjective is old. Old plus ER. Older. Long. Longer. Or longer. Tall. Taller. Just add an ER to it. Now, there could be some instances when you don't add an ER, you simply add an R. For the words that end in E. For instance, nice, N-I-C-E. You don't add an ER to it, it'll become niceier. Yeah. Nicer. Nice, nicer. White, whiter. Free, freer. Large, larger. L-A-R-G-E plus R. If it ends in a Y, if the adjective ends in a Y, then you do 2 things. Remove the Y and put an I over there, then add ER. Let's do it. Dry, drier. Tiny, tinier. T-I-N-Y. Y becomes I plus ER. Tinier. Double letter. In some cases, you'll find the last letter is repeated, and then you add an ER to it. Like big, bigger. Fat, fatter. What do? Why double it? B-I-G. So there's an I before the last letter G. I is a vowel. So if you have a vowel before the last letter, you repeat the last letter. That's the rule. So I want you to go through these rules, become familiar with them, go through them as many times as you need till you get them. And in our next video, we're going to delve a bit deeper into it. We're going to look at lots of examples, etc., so that you become thorough with this. And we're going to link it to our neighborhood as well. We'll see you then. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching this video, liking it and subscribing to our channel. We'll see you in the next video. Until then.